What's going on, guys? This is Damien from the Lookout and welcome to our How to Play Orange Piccolo guide. Guys, 33 slides. That's 8 more than Beast Gohan and Magenta, because we really went super in-depth with this one. We didn't want to make like a good stuff deck. We really went into the archetype. So this is the most detailed How to Play Orange Piccolo guide that you can find. So try to support us by hitting that like and subscribe button. We're on our way to 1,500 subs. We're trying to get there by the 26th of November. We're super close. We can probably get there. And if you want to support the channel and read some articles, link to our Patreon is in the description below. Now, roll the video.
Card Market is Europe's largest platform for all TCGs. Always find the right cards by buying and selling them across Europe with other players and collectors. Be it singles, boosters, booster boxes, or any other accessories, you name it. Card Market is the place to get them safely, securely, and readily available.
Here is our game plan. So we need to survive until turn 3 and then we get to punish our opponents. We're playing a yellow deck. We're much slower than like Red or Beast Gohan, but we have amazing defensive tools. The deck has a lot of plays that are a bit weird, which can make it feel clunky. You need to jump through a whole bunch of hoops to get like mediocre results. However, we've built the deck in a way to minimize those mediocre results, to make it, more streamlined. And finally, I suggest that you use some stuff from set 18, but we didn't want to do that. We wanted to stick to the archetype and try to get the best results with what we have. Now let's check out the leader. This time around we have a leader and a Z leader. Let's start with the unawakened side. It's nothing special. It's really nothing special. When he attacks you get to draw 1, which is slightly worse by today's standards, because if you're going first you just cannot draw 1 from your leader. He has an activate main where you put pen beneath him and then he can give like 5k to something. It's really nothing special. Luckily, this leader can awaken always on turn 2, which is once again the newest standard for the leaders, so we won't have to deal with like this bad version for very long. On the awakened side, this leader is actually pretty good. So he has blocker, he gets plus 10k when he's blocking. How relevant is this? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how relevant is this, because the easiest way to go around like his buff is to just attack him. Just don't attack anything else. Just go for the leader and he cannot get plus 10k buff anymore. However, he draws when he attacks, and that's a bit of a downside because this leader draws just one card per turn and that's it. However, this is yellow. We don't want yellow to be drawing like 2 to 3 cards per turn. That would be awful for everyone except the yellow player. So all around, a very good leader. The Z leader is actually phenomenal. The only downside is that you need to pay 2 to Z awaken, but you have a Krillin Z battle card which allows you to awaken for free. When you combo, you get to draw 1 and switch something to rest mode. When you attack, you get to KO something in rest mode. So that's the trick, you attack with something else, you combo. This deck really wants to combo. So you just combo, switch something to rest mode, attack with the Z leader, KO it. It can give 1 card double strike, but this is super costly because you need to pay 1 and you need to send 2 of your master teachings from the drop to warp. So yeah, it's not really the best effect to just gain no boost, just double strike. Because yeah, I think if it gave like plus 5k or 10k, you can make this leader insane. But anyway, yeah, this is the Z leader. It's not bad, it's just a bit costly. This is one of your key cards, Shenron Z battle card. It's pretty meh. It's really meh. I'm not gonna lie, it's not good. It has deflect, it doesn't have barrier. Usually you're just gonna play it on turn 2 to awaken and that's it. Sometimes, yeah, it can act as a semi draw engine. In the build that we are going with, we're trying to really capitalize on the draw engine, but it wants you to send your card to a Z energy just to draw, and then you need to rest him. It's okay because he cannot attack, so it's okay when you combo with something else and then you just switch him to rest mode and then you get to draw one. But he doesn't have barrier, it's super easy to remove him, and you will very likely never ever use his activate main. It's meh. Now I wish to show you something to illustrate the issue of this deck. These cards are good. Like, if you sequence these cards properly, on turn 3 you can attack like 5 times. However, they require a lot, you know. Piccolo requires, the 6-drop requires that Shenron is still alive somehow. And yeah, it's not really that great, but the high end is actually good. Even if you don't chain them, all of them except maybe the 6-drop are good. All of this here is bad. The only good card is the 2-drop. Everything else is awful. Like this, both of these 1-drops are bad. Piccolo Mentor's Rage is it's okay. Master Student Bond is also awful. So like a lot of the engine is bad. This perfectly illustrates the issue of the deck. The high end is very strong. Those 4 cards that I've shown you are amazing. Except maybe the 6-drop. The low to mid end of the deck is very weak. Like the rest of the engine is just bad. Like bad to like one decent card. And everything else is trash. It's possible to make this deck stronger by mixing it with set 18 cards, because it's gonna work with set 18 cards, or you can just play yellow good stuff, ignore 90% of the engine, and use Piccolo as a yellow good stuff later. However, welcome to the Lookout, where we are stubborn as mules, and we want to make archetype breakdowns as close to the archetype as possible. So that's what we're gonna do. We are gonna stay true to the archetype. In order to achieve our goal, we need to go with some upgrades. So we're using Piccolo Ready to Fuse and Assimilate. And we're also going with the Gohan rares, the yellow and the red one. Remember, Piccolo is a Master's Teachings leader, which means for the red one that you can actually play the red one for 1 energy, because you have a Master's Teachings leader. Let's explore the Piccolo Ready to Fuse and Assimilate a bit more. Why are we going with Piccolo Ready to Fuse? Here's why. Because it's a 1-drop that searches the top 5 for any Namekian and puts it to our hand. We want to get the 19k out as soon as possible. No other Namekian in the deck can actually grab it for us, like Tutor, and just grab a Namekian without specified energy cost. So 1 energy, grab your 19k dual attacker. If we don't have Piccolo Ready to Fuse, we can play Assimilate to grab it from our deck. The main purpose of Assimilate isn't just to grab the 1-drop, it's to grab the 2-drop. Because the 2-drop then allows us to cheat out our 3-drops. So yeah, the 1-drop is here to get the 19k dual attacker. Assimilate is here to help us grab the 1-drop if we don't have it. Or better yet, grab us the 2-drop so that we can cheat out our 3-drops from our hand. Speaking of 3-drops, these are the ones that we will be running in the deck. These are all of the options that you can cheat out with your 2-drop. We already briefly spoke about the Gohans. We also did mention that a lot of these Piccolos are quite bad. But I'm going to explain why are we playing all of them, starting with some Piccolos. Desperate Defense. This is our best 3-drop in the deck, because this is effectively Final Flash, Vegeta's Final Flash on legs. And it's a blocker. So this one is amazing. The other one, Master Student Bond, it's just okay. It's just okay. We're never gonna be using the first activate main. We're just using it as a 10k combo on legs, and you know, it can swing, and that's basically it. Now we go into the Gohans. There are a lot of Master's Teachings Gohans, but we decided to go with these 2. The yellow one is actually great. It helps us shut down our opponent's big guys, like cost 5 or more. That's amazing. The red one, he's like a mini board wipe. He's not necessarily gonna board wipe anything, because he just gives like minus 10k. But he's a 15k attacker who can also get a double strike. And he's just like 1 energy. That's awesome. So yeah, these are our choices for Gohans. Finally, we are just running one copy of Mentor's Rage. This is one of the worst free drops, but it has only a single purpose, and that is to get us our 5-drop with swap. So just in case that you don't have a 5-drop with swap in your hand, you can cheat this guy out and then you can grab your 5-drop. That's it. Here is the deck. Big shout out to Milos from Poland. He's one of our Zenka Showdown tournament organizers. I was so stuck with this Piccolo. I was sure that you cannot make it good if you just stick with the archetype. And Milos came up with this idea. He showed me like, okay, use this. This is probably the best that you can get if you're trying to stick with the archetype. Once again, link to Deck Planet is in the description below. And this is the deck that we will be using now with our gameplay breakdown. Let's dive into it. For the Mulligan, it's always a combination of these 4 cards. You really want the 19k dual attacker. The rest is here to help you get there. Now, as I said, it's always a combination. It's a bit bigger Mulligan because it's 4 cards. And we will now go into a deeper breakdown on how to use some of these pieces in case that you don't find the rest. Like what to do. Like, don't panic. This Mulligan is built in a way to really get you to your goal even if you don't hit it perfectly. Here's what I'm talking about. For example, let's say that you don't have the 19k and you don't have the 1-drop. Then you keep Assimilate. Let's say you got Assimilate. You use Assimilate to get your 1-drop, which you then use to look at top 5 and try to get the 8-drop 19k dual attacker. That's one scenario. In the second scenario, you got the 19k, you got the 1-drop and Assimilate, but you didn't get the 2-drop. In that case, you use Assimilate to get the 2-drop. Basically, the only one that you can actually go without is the 1-drop. So if you get like 19k and Assimilate, these are your more important pieces, because then you can use Assimilate to get the 2-drop, which is your missing piece. But yeah, these are the 2 variations of the Mulligan, and I hope that now you understand a bit better why are you looking for these 4 cards and how you use them to fill in the gaps in your Mulligan. Let's dive into the breakdown. I'm going to show you turns 1 to 4, because we're really going into details with this one. The first few turns are usually the same, but there are some cool plays, so we're gonna cover them. We are assuming that you went first, as always, and that you've kept the 8-drop, the 1-drop, and Assimilate. It's highly unlikely that you will be able to hit all the 4 cards in the Mulligan, so let's show you a play where you didn't get the Assimilate and where you didn't get the 2-drop. Our goal is to set up for a very strong turn 4. Let's see what this super thematic, almost fully archetype locked Piccolo deck can actually do. Turn 1. Our goal is to fill the gaps in our Mulligan. We start the turn. We charge 1 energy, we pay 1. We play Piccolo ready to fuse. We search the top 5 for a Namekian, and let's say we get this 5-drop. We add something to the hand. I didn't know what to put, so I put like this 5-drop. Then we play Assimilate. We search the deck for the 2-drop so that we can use it on turn 2. We find it, we add it to our hand, and then finally we use the leader's activate main to put the pain card under him. It's not like we're gonna be using that a whole bunch, but yeah, let's put it under him, and that's basically it. This is always your turn 1. The goal is to get the cards that you have missed in your Mulligan. That's it. Let's go into our opponent's turn 1. Opponent's turn 1 is pretty straightforward. You have already seen this in the Gohan deck. You just use the 1-drop to combo him when your opponent swings and just send him towards Z energy. Because you need 1 Z energy to play Shenron on your turn 2 so that you can awaken. That's always gonna be your opponent's turn 1. If your opponent somehow got rid of this 1-drop, just combo with something from hand. Your opponent is always going to be attacking you, because every single leader needs to attack to do something. So just combo away a 1-drop or combo away something from hand if the 1-drop is removed, charge the Z energy and get ready to go into your turn 2. Okay, now comes the long one. Start turn 2, charge 1 energy, Pay 1 and pay 1 Z energy. Play the Shenron. Now you can awaken because you need the Shenron to awaken. You awaken, you draw 1, you ready 1 energy, you draw until you have 6 lives left. Then you attack. Leader's auto triggers, drawing a card. You combo with 2 cards and with the 2 drop from your hand. That's what you do. So you're comboing with 3 cards in total. Pay 1 energy, so now you have 1 left, to play the 19k dual attacker, because you can cheat this guy out if you have 3 cards in the combo area. Then pay your last energy for your 2 drops activate battle. You added the 2 drop back to your hand, you draw 1 card, and then you get to play a free drop. Let's say you play this one. You can play any other one, I just put this one in. This free, because it's a blocker. The free drop gets plus 5k. It doesn't mean much because this is your blocker, but it means a lot when you play like the other free drops, let's say like Mentor's Rage or Student Master Bond. It gets plus 5k, so it's 15k. Doesn't matter. Now you're finishing the attack. You finish the attack, you can charge 1Z energy. Then, because you have charged 1Z energy, Shenron's auto triggers, you can switch Shenron to rest mode to draw 1. Then you attack with the 19k, because your opponent has a battle card. We were assuming that they have played something on turn 1. You get to draw 1 and you get to get plus 5k. So he's a 24k attacker. He restands because he's a dual attacker. You attack again with him and then you end the turn. If you got a different free drop, you get to attack once more. But in this case, we went with the blocker, so we're not attacking. And that's it. That is your turn 2. Here are the results of turn 2. So this is what you did. You've awakened, you drew 4 cards, you charged 1Z energy, maybe you charged more depending on how you combo, but let's say you charged 1. You attacked 3 to 4 times. In this scenario, you attacked 3 times. If you get a different free drop out, then you get to attack 4 times. And you drew cards from your life until you had 6 life left. It's not bad for a non-aggro deck. It's actually pretty strong. Like attacking 3 to 4 times in a turn. One of them is with a 24k attacker, then it's 19k. It's strong. It's pretty strong. Let's go into turn 3. Okay, another big one. You start turn 3. You charge 1 energy, you pay 1, you have 2 left. You play the 5 drop. Now it's time to attack. You attack with the 5 drop, you finish the attack, and then you pay 1 to swap. You play the other 8 drop. You can play another 19k, but let's say you play the other one, because I want to show you as many cards as possible. So you play the 8 drop, 5 drops auto triggers. When he is sent to your hand via swap, you get to give plus 6k in critical to a card. You target the 19k. Now it's a 25k crit. You attack with him, he gets plus 5k because your opponent has battle cards, and you get to draw 1. So on the first swing, it's 30k critical, draw 1. Then you repeat the swing, now it is 25k critical, no draw this time. Then you attack with the leader, you draw 1. You attack with your 8 drop, you combo a card to charge a Z energy, you rest Shenron, drawing 1 again, and then you end your turn. You are left with only a single energy. This is important because turn 3 is a bit dangerous and we need to be able to defend ourselves. We are using this 1 energy to either play Robotic Riposte or Steadfast Assistance. 90% of the time Robotic Riposte is the better one, but in case that you don't have it, you can play Steadfast Assistance. Yeah, this is your turn 3. Congratulations, now you're in turn 4. We are assuming that you have survived this long. There's a lot that you can do on turn 4. So you can, for example, play your Z leader. You can play the Krillin to make the Z leader just free awakening if you're on 3 lives. You can repeat your turn 2 play with the 2 drop and the 19k dual attacker. You can use the swap combo again. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do on your turn 4. 4 energy is a lot, especially when you can just cheat out things. 4 energy is a whole bunch. And from this point on, I think you've got, a pretty good handle of the game and of the deck, so you can just go wild from turn 4 onwards. Yeah, this is how you play the deck. Let's go into the summary. This deck is very solid once you pass the first 3 turns. Already on turn 2, it's pretty solid. Yellow Good Stuff deck is still probably better than just like this super heavy archetype theme deck, so give it a go, but I think that this one is pretty solid. You have a lot of variety after turn 2. So after turn 2 you don't need to go with the combos that I have shown you. Free energy is more than enough to get some other kind of variety, and I just showed you one play. So you can just go wild. This being a yellow deck means that you have some very good defensive tools, so as long as you keep at least one energy up, you're not gonna get super punished. Even if you mess up, you can still save yourself if you have the robotic riposte. I think that this is my final thoughts. I think that this is the best yellow Piccolo deck by far. Like, this one is amazing. It took Bandai 3 attempts in a row of a yellow Piccolo, and this one is the closest to the one that actually works. So I think this one is pretty good, and I'm excited to try it when the set drops. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about this Orange Piccolo leader? Will you be building a Good Stuff deck, or will you be sticking to the archetype and see how it goes? I'm very excited to read your comments on this. It was very difficult to come up with a version that works, so I'm excited to read what you have to say. I read all of your comments, I try to respond to everything, I love our little community, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 1,500 subs. We still have 21 days to go to hit our goal. It seems like very little time, but I'm super positive that we can make this happen. And if you want more Dragon Ball content, check out our Patreon, link is in the description below. We'll be publishing exclusive articles and deck lists on the Patreon. So yeah, go give it a go if that's something that you're interested in. This has been Damien from The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.